Welcome to the Forza Motorsport 3 Community Choice DLC, and today we're going to drive the 1957 Ferrari 250 California. This, 50 years later, will become the Ferrari California as we know. The Ferrari 250 California is a really rare car, and it was one of the first convertibles made by Ferrari. It also became a real keeper for those, Ferrari drivers which didn't want to have a really lousy car. And since this is a, kind of car you would want to drive on a lovely, summer evening on the Italian coast, we're going to drive it on the Amalfi Coast. So the Ferrari 250 California was the first convertible and the first roadster made by Ferrari. This would later become the Ferrari 250 GTO, which for me is the best Ferrari ever built. It's my favorite Ferrari, which were only made 40, and one of them was sold at $10 million. Yeah, wish I had that car. Lovely 3-liter engine. But about 250, it's a sports car and a convertible altogether. Wow. Such an understeer! Oh my god! Whoa. Look at this car. Oh. This car wasn't made for racing, but for people who wanted their Ferrari for bragging about. It was, let's say, the first non-racing Ferrari, and the name California was because most of Ferrari's dealers on the United States were in California, and also most of their demand was from California. And so 50 years later, this car became the actual roadster we see. The special thing about this California, it's because its front engine, it's a V6 with 250. Oh my god, sorry, I'm a really bad driver with convertibles. It has a lousy driving. Oh my god. The 250 was a car not for pro drivers, but people who wanted a Ferrari. It was really cheap, and the engine was a 250 cc per cylinder V6 engine. This kind of name was also applied to the Ferrari 250. So this car, instead of having a 2.5-liter engine like most people think, it has a 3-liter engine. This 3-liter engine, which was in the front, could be later applied on the 1964 Ferrari 250 GTO, the Gran Turismo Omologato. Or if you want to say it in Italian, Gran Turismo Omologato. This car was like the kind of driving I'm doing, which is fast driving on a nice, sunny Italian coast driving, or, any coast. Makes it. It's just in the Amalfi Coast, it's a real Italian coast, so this car makes it. The car is pretty from the outside, and it's strange that most of the details from this car were later applied on the 250 GTO, such as the front headlights. Also, the design looks really American, which details from American cars, such as the Ford Fairlane. And it was crazy for those times because most of the American cars in the 50s were considered crazy on the European times. But the Italians loved most of the designs that the Americans did for the cars and how good they sell. And the Ferrari California, it's a tribute to them. Of course, this car drives much better than a real American 50s car. And I could say even more sportier because it has a racing suspension. Of course, being as an old car as it is, the brakes aren't that good. You see, I just tried to brake here and it didn't make it. Still, it's a really fast car for being a roadster. 120 for this kind of car on the Amalfi Coast. It's quite good, even with bumps and crashes and all that stuff. Don't blame me, trolls! Don't blame me! I remember when I tried the Ferrari 5458 on Forza here, and then posted the video on YouTube. Yeah, it was really funny. I crashed the car on purpose, and so this became one of my signatures. But since I already crashed the car, I didn't want it because it's a really pretty car, especially on that lovely Ferrari red. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to park it. Look at the view. Thinking about it. So relaxing, isn't it? It's over.